Biodiversity loss is an extremely serious issue for the world. For the last 70 years, we've ignored the degradation of the planet, and we're only beginning to see the impacts. The biodiversity funding gap is now estimated at around $700 billion a year.
Half the world's GDP is dependent on nature or its services. These beautiful elephants are poached for their tusks, or rhinos are poached for their horns, and we're not capturing the detrimental value to the communities that live with these animals, or the detrimental costs of production and tourism if these species were to disappear.
Most of the targets that have been set previously for stemming biodiversity loss do not look like they're going to be met in 2020, 2030, etc. When we think about that 125 trillion of value that nature gives to us, if we can put a price on that opportunity, you can see that there's sort of two sides of the coin. There's risk and there's opportunity from an investment point of view.
Traditional conservation funding has been highly dependent upon philanthropic donors. What we've seen is a disconnect between the funding mechanisms and what we actually need on the ground. ZSL is an international conservation charity with 2 zoos, works with a very diverse set of stakeholders and partners. We've been working across the impact spectrum with Credit Suisse, looking at that ESG space, but also increasingly looking at impact investing and innovative financing mechanisms. These beautiful white rhinos, which were on the brink of extinction 70 years ago, through coordinated human engagement and intervention, we've managed to recover that species to around 8,000.
When we analyze the UN Sustainable Development Goals, very sadly what we find is life on land and life below water are 2 of the least invested SDGs of all the 17 goals. And I would say part of that is because there has been a dearth of investable structures and opportunities for the for-profit investor to find that aligns with what they require with their own particular needs and desires.
Credit Suisse is working to really try to stem biodiversity loss by trying to create investable opportunities across asset classes. There are ways to invest in both life on land and life underwater. For instance, on land, you can generate carbon credits through agricultural projects. On life underwater, planting mangroves is hugely beneficial and creates a significant amount of blue carbon credits.
In the last 6 months, we've seen an explosion in interest in biodiversity. We need to be able to use that momentum to really drive forward how we are better at monitoring our impacts on biodiversity.
Half the battle is actually understanding these complex issues in a meaningful way that's informed by climate science and good academia and research. And we are in a position, hopefully often, to give visibility to those topics and educate our clients to get that emotion activated into investment.